Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. We're going to let folks get settled here and we'll get started in just another minute. So hang tight and I'll be back in just another 45 seconds or so. Thank you. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you, everyone, for joining the Geothermal Lithium Extraction Prize webinar. We are excited to have launched this new American Made Challenges prize competition. And the prize is focused on the geothermal industry and direct lithium extraction. So we think it's going to be a great prize. We can't wait to tell you all about it. My name is Emily Evans. I'm the AMC Prize Administrator for this prize at the National Renewable Energy Laboratory, and I am joined today by Alex Priestashev from the U.S. Department of Energy Geothermal Technologies Office. So before we dive in today, a few housekeeping items. Most importantly, we're not going to be doing a live Q&A today. However, if you do, we do want your questions and we want to answer them. If you have questions, please type them into the Q&A box. I know they look really similar, but make sure that you're typing in your questions to the Q&A box and not the chat box. We'll be monitoring chat, but please direct your questions to that Q&A area. And then we're following the webinar, we're going to post a common Q&A response document to HeroX. Don't worry if you don't know what that means, we'll get into that following the webinar, just so that everyone has to all of the questions. If you have any technical difficulties or any other kind of more logistical questions, you can go ahead and type those into the chat, and we'll also be sending out some links there as well. So today we're going to cover an overview of the American Made Challenges and American Made Network. And then we're going to provide an overview of the Geothermal Lithium Extraction Prize. We'll talk about the different phases, as well as do a deep dive onto the phase 1 contest and the submission elements that will be required. We'll also talk a little bit about eligibility for the prize. We'll do a live demonstration of the HeroX website, and we'll have the opportunity for you to type in those questions at the very end. So first, we'll get started with a brief overview of the American Made Challenges and the American Made Network. The American Made Challenges program was developed to help energize American ingenuity and empower innovators to create groundbreaking energy solutions and turn their ideas into reality in a matter of months instead of years. The American Made Challenges program achieves this goal by connecting teams with knowledge, resources, and access to experts in their field to rapidly transform those ideas into prototypes and even further. In addition, our program connects participants with DOE national labs, incubators, accelerators, and other facilities through via the American Made Network to further support their innovations. So the American Made Challenges program, we are proud to host the Geothermal Lithium Extraction Prize, and we encourage all of you to check out our other prize programs on americanmadechallenges.org. New prizes are added frequently, so be sure to check back often. So you might be out in the audience today wondering, well, how is this different than a typical government grant process like a FOA or an SBIR or another type of traditional government grant? And the answer is that essentially the prize funding model shortens and reverses the typical grant process. In the grant process, you will start out by writing and submitting a concept paper. That concept paper will get reviewed, and then you do the full application, and then we'll do the selections and negotiations, and then you begin performing. And then after you perform and you prepare deliverables and milestones, then you are reimbursed. In contrast to that, the prize award process, you begin performing immediately. There's no pre-selection phase. We provide you in the official rules document, the predefined goals, what we're looking for. You then complete a submission package, we judge and score submissions, and then winners receive payments. A key aspect of this prize model is that once you win, there's no performance deliverables tied to the cash award that you receive. There's no milestones, you're not going to invoice us. If you're selected as a winner, we wire you a cash prize payment, and we hope you're going to use that money to advance your innovation and progress in the competition. But however, it's entirely up to you how you spend those funds. So these prize programs, they are supported by the American Made Network. Our American Made Network is growing and getting stronger every day. Currently, network partners, we call them connectors, represent 31 states and counting. We are proud to connect our teams to 17 DOE national laboratories to enable them to get access to staff, resources, and laboratories via our voucher program that many prizes do offer that are traditionally very hard to get at. If you are in the audience, we are always looking for new connectors to join our network. We would love to have you. Just go to our website and follow the links to connect with us, and we'll be putting that link in the chat. So now it's my pleasure to hand things over to Alex, who will give us an overview of the Geothermal Lithium Extraction Prize. Alex, over to you.
Thanks, Emily. So just a basic overview of the prize itself. We're having a total of 3 phases over 18 months and a total of $4 million in cash prizes to win. The contest itself, each phase will be supported by a group of industry advisory panel members, or IAP. The IAP we'll talk about more in a little bit, but basically they're going to provide real world problems for all of you to solve and come up with solutions for, and provide mentorship throughout the prize. Next slide. Thank you. Prize goal. Overall, the prize goal is to incentivize the creation of innovations that improve the current state of the art of direct lithium extraction, or DLE technologies, and some of the other technologies that surround DLE. Next slide. So the prize seeks to catalyze efforts in the U.S. to identify, develop, and test solutions that will overall improve the profitability of direct lithium extraction technologies from geothermal brines. We are trying to incentivize the nation's academic community, so all of you in the audience, to rapidly discover and research new direct lithium extraction technologies and solutions to support safe domestic lithium supply chain within the U.S. We seek to transform innovative research and ideas through early stage concepts and test proposed designs to demonstrate the ability to improve direct lithium extraction. And then overall, we seek to enable the rapid development of technologies that build crucial connections for new avenues of technology commercialization. Next slide. By 2050, it's expected that the global demand for lithium will increase by 500% due to electric vehicles and battery storage technologies. Lithium supply will become a crucial element, and this will drive the lithium supplies to become a crucial element in the clean energy supply chain. Currently, the U.S. lithium stock is almost entirely imported, with only 1% of the lithium being sourced domestically. Annual lithium resource potential in the Salton Sea region alone is expected to be at 600,000 tons, which far exceeds the current annual demand for U.S. lithium. And so all this together could transform the U.S. in becoming a net exporter to the lithium extraction and lithium supply chain in the U.S. Next slide. So I touched on this a bit earlier on, the IAP, or the Industry Advisory Panel. So all teams will have access to the IAP. The team of it are, so that overall the IAP are a team of advisors who are experts in the state-of-the-art lithium extraction technology, saltancy, lithium, geothermal lithium brines. We have a wide range of folks on the IAP itself, and you can see over on the right-hand slide here some of the companies that are part of our IAP. During phase one, IAP members will participate in panel discussions about extraction from geothermal brines for competitors' review. This will be done over a series of webinars that will be recorded and posted throughout April at some point. But this will be an opportunity for competitors to see the IAP members providing real-world examples of problems that need solutions, and also giving an overview of what geothermal is, what are in geothermal brines, and how do we tackle the solutions needed for direct lithium extraction. Competitors, in order to participate with IAP, competitors will submit a request for an IAP assistance with their phase one submission package. And this will be something that we will send out more information on here shortly. But basically, we're asking you, the audience, the competitors, to submit something that says, this is my technology and I really want to work with X company for these reasons. And then the IAP members and competition teams will meet throughout phases 2 and 3 to discuss the progress on your project and receive feedback. So really getting one-on-one mentorship through these companies and having working on real problems that will help these companies with their technologies. And now I think I will turn it back over to Emily.
Thanks, Alex. So next we're going to cover an overview of the 3 phases that are in the prize. So as we've mentioned a few times, this is a 3-phase prize. You must participate in phase 1, which is going on right now, to advance to phase 2, and you must win phase 2 to advance to phase 3. We'll look at these in a little bit more depth on the next slide. So we are currently in phase 1, and which at the end of this phase, we're going to select 15 winners who will receive a minimum of $40,000 each, and the opportunity to be mentored by an IAP member in phase 2. Winners from phase 1 will go on to compete in phase 2, where we will down select to 5 winners to receive a minimum of $280,000. And finally, winners from phase 2 will then go on to compete in phase 3, where the 3 finalists will split a $2 million prize pool. So now to look at each of these phases in just a little bit more depth. So phase 1, that's our current phase, is the idea and concept phase. In this phase, we want competitors to demonstrate that they have identified and developed an impactful idea or solution that addresses one or more of these key technical challenges that we've identified. 1, developing electrochemical or electrolysis processes for the direct conversion of lithium-bearing geothermal brine to a lithium hydroxide product without the intermediate creation of lithium carbonate. Developing new absorbents, precipitants, catalysts, or new processing conditions that can effectively and selectively extract lithium directly from geothermal brines. Advancements that improve the yield and achievable product purity. Advancements that reduce energy and water consumption rates. And finally, advancements that minimize or monetize waste products. And then finally, in phase 1, competitors, the overall goal is to propose a path to design, prototype, and test a proof of concept. As you know, this competition is open. It opened on March 31st, and it will wrap up on July 2nd with our submission date. In phase 2, competitors will advance their phase 1 ideas and concepts into the design and invent phase. In phase 2, competitors are going to be working with those IAP members that Alex just talked to us about to substantially advance their proposal tool, component, chemical process, or other advanced concepts by demonstrating their design's promise in meeting quantitative engineering and operational requirements outlined by the team. They are also going to develop a plan to test their innovations using a real geothermal brine during phase 3. And then phase 2 teams will also present their concept to DOE and IAP members during an innovation pitch meeting. Our anticipated contest dates for phase 2 will be September through December 2021. Finally, in phase 3 is fabricate and test. In this phase, competitors will fabricate and test their proposed designs to demonstrate its ability to improve DLE from geothermal brines over a 12-month period. We're anticipating that phase 3 will run January 2022 to January 2023. And just to say, there is more detail in the official rules on each of those 3 phases. However, since we're in phase 1, we are going to go ahead and do a deep dive into the phase 1 submission elements. So as we've talked about, the goal of the idea and concept phase is to propose an innovative advancement that helps to lower the cost per unit weight of geothermally extracted lithium to be cost competitive with currently common extraction methods, and or help to reduce energy and water consumption. Important dates: phase 1 opened on March 31st. You are here at the webinar, but just to let you know that we're going to have some additional webinars that will be available to view whenever you're ready. We will post them up onto the HeroX website. I'll show you right where those will be. And those will be up by April 26th. And another great reason, we'll talk about HeroX more in just a moment, to sign up on HeroX for the prize is that you're going to be the first to know about when these webinars are posted. Your phase 1 submissions are due on July 2nd at 5 p.m. Eastern. And I would just really like to hammer home the importance of submitting your submission well ahead of that 5 p.m. deadline. It's a hard deadline. The submission form closes right at 5 p.m. Even if you're on the way to click that submit button, it's really, really heartbreaking when folks get caught up in that. My number one piece of advice to all competitors on all prizes is to, get in there on July 1st, the morning of July 2nd, get your submission in and start it as soon as possible. And then finally, we will plan to announce phase 1 winners around the end of August. Note that date is anticipated. Announcement dates tend to move around a little bit on the calendar. So around the end of August, we will be announcing our phase 1 winners. Read the rules. My number 2 piece of advice to all competitors on all prizes is to read the rules document. This is your best and most up-to-date source for all things about the prize. It's where we go to answer questions that come up about the prize. I would highly suggest that you read that cover to cover. You can find a copy of the rules here on this by clicking directly on this link. And yes, we will share a copy of these slides following the webinar along with a recording of today's webinar. Or as you'll see when we talk about HeroX, you can navigate to the HeroX page and click on the resources tab. In the official rules document, you're going to see the following submission elements detailed. So we're looking for a 90-second video, which will be made public and is not scored. A cover page, again, to be made public and not scored. 1 submission summary slide, and this will also be made public and not scored. An industry advisory panel assistance request. This will not be made public. and is not scored, that's going to be to help to match, well, we'll talk about it in a minute. And then the technical narrative about the problem, innovation, team, and plan. This document is not public and it is scored. And then finally, letters of commitment or support, which are optional. So we're going to take a look at a couple of these submission elements in some detail here. The first item that we ask for is a 90-second video. When you're thinking about your 90-second video, a couple things for you to keep in mind. Think about your suggested video content. Usually the video is like the first impression that our team of expert reviewers who will be looking at the applications are going to encounter. Think of it like your handshake. You know, introduce yourself, talk about the technical challenge that you want to tackle, give us the high-level vision of your proposed solution, tell us who you are and why you have a competitive edge, and then any other creative content that conveys your submission in exciting and interesting ways. A couple of tips: be creative and focus on your content. Ask others for help. I even have it there twice. It's so important. Ask others for help. You can ask people within your network. You can ask people within the American Made Network. Show it to friends and family before you post it online. You know, get your mom's opinion on it. Get your grandma's opinion on it. Is it clear enough? Do they understand what you're talking about? You know, definitely the video is not somewhere that you want to get too technical. I would also say, don't worry about putting together the editing or the professional quality of it. We really want to get to know you. We want to get to know your team and your idea. Don't worry, you don't have to have a green screen. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. Just make sure that you're getting your content across. So the IAP assistance request is another element of your phase 1 submission that I think is especially important. The IAP assistance request is a 2-page description of where your unique solution would be most aided by the input of an IAP member. This document is going to be used to connect you to teams advancing in phase 2 with other IAP members. So the technical narrative is really going to be the meat of your submission. And this is where you're asked to answer these 4 basic questions. First question is problem. What is the problem that you are trying to solve and why is it important? Number 2, innovation. What is your solution and why will it be successful? Number 3 is team. What have you done to date that gives you a competitive edge? And number 4, what is your plan to achieve your goals? So your submission is going to be judged based on the scoring statements in the official rules document. Again, I would suggest that you go read the official rules. Very important document. You'll see here, there is a screen capture of the official rules on the left. And then that table that you see, right, each of those bullets are scaled on a 1 to 6 scale. Number 1 being that the expert reviewer strongly disagrees with the statement as it relates to your submission. And number 6 is that they strongly agree. So things like under the first question, problem, the competitor identifies a critical problem using compelling analysis. So the expert reviewer is going to be looking at your technical narrative, and then they're going to be asking themselves this question. If it were me, I would make sure that it is super clear for the expert reviewers that they are able to answer these questions easily, that they have the information they need, and that they don't have to go hunting for it. Finally, once submissions have been submitted, winners are determined using a 4-step process. 1, we will be convening a panel of expert reviewers who will score your submissions based on the judging criteria. Judges do sign an NDA, and each submission is typically looked at by 3 to 4 expert reviewers. The final score from individual expert reviewers for a submission package equals the total sum of the scores for all the bullets. So each one of those expert reviewers who will be looking at your submission, they're going to be filling out that HeroX judging form using that sliding scale for each of the questions between 1 and 6. And then each application will be given a final score, which is then looked at across all expert reviewers. So that's number 3. Expert reviewer scores will then also be averaged for a final score for the submission package. That is also taken into consideration with the program policy factors, also in the official rules document, to make up that final decision. And then approximately 60 days after submission, around the August timeline, is when we will announce and notify the winners. Now we're going to talk a few minutes about eligibility for the prize. In general, the prize is open to participants currently affiliated with an academic institution, and it's really important to note, we have gotten some questions on this. This does not include prior affiliations such as alumni. You must be currently affiliated with that academic institution. In addition, individuals must be US citizens or permanent residents, and a group of individuals can compete as one competitor. However, please be aware that the online account holder of on HeroX, we call them the team captain. It's the person who's hitting that submit button. They must be a US citizen or permanent resident. You are strongly, you hear me say it a million times, but you are strongly encouraged to review the eligibility requirements in the official rules. This is only a snapshot. Full eligibility can be found there. All right, now we are going to transition to a live demonstration of HeroX. We've mentioned it a couple times throughout this webinar, and we just want to make sure that everyone knows how to use HeroX, how to engage in it, find the information that you need to find. And of course, it's a great place to connect with potential team members and ask questions of the prize administration team as well. So give me just a moment while I transition. Jackie, can you please confirm that you can see my screen?
Yep, we can see your screen.
Great. So this is HeroX. This is the Geothermal Lithium Extraction Prizes homepage on HeroX. HeroX is our prize platform that we use to run the day-to-day administration of the prizes and is a great source of information for all things about the prize. When you navigate here, it's going to ask you, it's going to look a whole lot like this page. If you already have a HeroX account, you can go ahead and log in. Otherwise, it's really simple sign up to create an account. Once you create a HeroX account, you can follow the prize by clicking this button. Or you can sign up to be a competitor by clicking this button that says solve this challenge. When you click this link, it's going to take you through to the competitor agreement. Click accept. You can select to create your own team, or you can join a team, or you can decide to compete individually. If you sign up with a team account, it allows you to invite others to collaborate on your team. I'm just going to go ahead and sign up as an individual. So now I am signed up as a competitor for the challenge. I am following the prize, so I get updates. When you go to submit your submission, you're going to click on my entry and say begin entry. This is going to take you to the submission form. You'll see, I'm going to give it a title, a short description, tell us about your innovation in a couple sentences. You can upload an image. I would highly recommend uploading an image. Let us know how you heard about the challenge. Complete an eligibility acknowledgement. It will tell us about your team, give yourself a team name, team members, 9-digit zip code. very important. Which academic institution you are affiliated with. Tell us a little bit about your partners and your network, and then upload your submission package items. You'll see a link here for your 90-second video. Please, when you go to upload that to YouTube, please make sure that it is publicly available. I'd say that's the #1 problem we get with submission videos. We will reach out, have you adjusted, but it's better if it's just good to go from the very beginning. And then upload each of your files. Files that you upload must be PDF. And at any point you can save, you can come back. I have nothing to save, but if you did, you'd click Save and Preview. All right, and then you can also join a team here if maybe you start off as an individual and later want to team up with someone. HeroX is also a great source of information for all things about the prize. There's a general overview here. You can see our prize graphic, learn a little bit about the how and the why of the prize, review guidelines, which essentially just sends you to the official rules. Timeline, you can view the anticipated timeline of the prize. We're right here. Submission deadline is July 2nd. Oh, and these dates always update to whatever time zone you're in. Updates, we will periodically post updates about the prize, let you know of any new opportunities, such as today's webinar. This is where we will also post when the IAP webinars are available towards the end of this month. You will also get an email of any updates that we send out. Form. You are welcome to use this forum for whatever purpose you would like. You can talk to other competitors. You can ask us a public question. We very often will post updates to the prize here as well. You can see here that we have a thread already begun. Teams, you can see who has signed up as a team or an innovator for the challenge. Maybe check out, see if there's anyone in your network who maybe has already signed up. Resources tab, this is where we're going to post all of those great resources. You can see that the official prize rules are already here. You can just click on the link, it'll take you directly to the PDF document. We will also post the recording of the webinar and we will post it here. Same with the IAP webinars that will be available at the end of April. And then finally, the FAQ. FAQ, we have several pre-populated questions. We will also add questions from today's webinar here to the FAQ as well as under the resources tab. If you have any questions about HeroX or how to use it, or if you run into any technical difficulties, don't hesitate to reach out, especially if you're experiencing technical difficulties towards submission day. Really important. Great. So like I said, we are not going to be doing a live Q&A today. However, if you have questions, please type them into the Q&A box. We'll leave the WebEx open for another couple minutes here. And then we will post that common Q&A response document to HeroX under the resources question. We'll also add some select questions to the FAQ following the webinar. Or if you prefer, if you just don't have a question now and you have one later, jot down this email, geolithiumextraction@nrel.gov, and that's your direct connection to myself, to the other prize administrator working on this prize, and we will happily get you the information that you need. And finally, we encourage you to get started. We are so excited about this challenge. We're thrilled that you're here. If you want to get started, go to the HeroX page, check us out on americanmadechallenges.org/geothermal lithium extraction. And thanks again. Really appreciate all of your time. And that concludes our webinar. like I mentioned, we'll go ahead and open the webinar for just another minute here just to capture any of those last minute Q&As. Again, drop them into the box, not the chat, although if you have asked a question in the chat, I will make sure it gets over to the Q&A. Thank you again for your time. Jackie, I think we're okay to close at 11, let's call it 39. Does that sound good?
Yep, sounds good.
Thank you. Last call for any questions into the Q&A box, and we will be sure to send out a link to the answers of those questions following the webinar. You'll also get an email notification about it. Thank you everyone for your time today. We will be in touch via email. Please sign up on HeroX, follow the competition, make sure that you get all of the relevant prize announcements, and don't forget to submit your submissions by July 2nd at 5 p.m. Eastern. Thank you all.